Another great example of a local company, this is a company that's based over in Arlington. It's called the Daily Grommet. Has anyone heard of the Daily Grommet? Yeah. A couple of people. This is going to be a very great story from Massachusetts. Daily Grommet are about six people, I think maybe fewer, who are in Arlington, who are producing absolutely terrific videos about products that you would be interested in, about unique products. It's not something that you can get off the shelf at Target, but it's small makers of either jewelry or soap or clothing or household items, niche items that you can't find anywhere else, unique gifts. The differentiator that they're really focusing on is they're creating videos for each one of these products. And so they're rating the product, they're giving you insight into what it's like, they're talking about what it might be good for, if it's a gift, is this good for a male, a female, how old. They're really giving you a lot of insight that you don't get from just the static box that's in the e-commerce website. And they're developing a massive following. And so people are coming to the site, they're really getting hooked in through the video that are being displayed on the site. But then they're keeping them there with a conversation. You know, conversation is short as, that looks cool. You know, that spurs a whole other level of conversation with their audience. Now, they have an interesting business model where they're using this content to actually build their own traffic. And so instead of paying for traffic either through the Google network or banner campaigns or any other method, they're focusing all their time and effort into two things: search engine optimization and to creating these terrific videos. Because they have this terrific content, and because content is the most difficult thing to produce on the web, people are coming to them and saying, hey, you know, I have a fashion blog, please just give me your great videos about clothing. Please just give me that video I saw about this new perfume company. And they're becoming a content, not only a content aggregator, but a content producer. The people who they're giving the content to appreciate this content, but in turn, the Daily Grommet gets to drive traffic back from all these disparate e-commerce and blogging websites to their website. So each video that they produce becomes a mini driver of traffic, and ultimately a mini driver of sales because they are an e-commerce website. So it's a free traffic model. The cost of traffic in Daily Grommet's case is actually producing these terrific videos, which they have a lot of fun with. They're filmed for the most part in this small office/house in Somerville, and they're absolutely getting a huge model. Another site I want to point out is one that makes my mom very proud, because we actually leave out profanities from the sweet little old lady. I don't know if you've heard the radio spots yet, but I put that blank on everything. It's the Frank's Red Hot new tagline. If you read the New York Times last week, it's getting a lot of press, negative press, a little bit, but it is getting a lot of attention, and it is growing the brand immensely. So we built a website that's part video-based website, part recipe-based website, part community, part mobile experience. And the mobile experience is built directly into the website. So anytime someone tweets hash Frank's Red Hot, the tweet gets sucked into the site for all the website surfers to see. And at the same time, we're driving people from the site to be followers of Frank's when it comes to Twitter. We also built what's called the Restaurant Wing Finder. And this is truly, it's intended to be a fun app. It's not really for people to find wing restaurants. It's really just for people to brag, look how much I like wings. I have a wing finder on my iPhone. So you have you basically have a button on your phone that you press, and it searches automatically based on your GPS for all the great wing restaurants in your area. We launched the site, we launched the app about a month or two ago. And the most amazing thing is that we're finding that people are using it much like they use Foursquare. So people have been submitting restaurants that haven't showed up in our app in droves. So I think we've collected around 400 restaurants, just in a short amount of time, for people saying, hey, this is my favorite restaurant. All those comments, all those ratings, all go from the iPhone app and get aggregated and brought into the website and vice versa. And so there's a push and there's a pull, there's a social strategy, there's a local strategy, and they're all sort of converging together. And the last website is one that's truly an immersive video and web experience, where our actors are talking to the consumer about a new product launch, which is a company called 3D Via, which is an exciting product in the 3D development world. And as they're telling you about the new product launch, they're actually building the site right before your eyes. So you can see our actor on the right-hand side actually drawing in the forms. And this site really doesn't do it justice to see it statically, but if you go to 3dvia.com/fast3d, you'll be amazed at the technology. So it's a great example of part website, part television station. All in all, the average time on the site has been about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, which is about a third of a sitcom. If you really think about it, it's absolutely off the charts. As far as conversion and goals, it's collected about 1,000% of the leads that we're hoping for. And so, engagement in using video as a part of your web strategy is a hugely important part of your marketing mix moving forward in the next few years. One last point, a couple last points. If YouTube were a search engine, it would be the #2 search engine right now behind Google, which really means that if you thought Google's monopoly was strong before, it is that much stronger now. And how people are using YouTube is to obviously, when they get out of a meeting with a financial advisor, they get out of a meeting with a doctor, they're embarrassed to ask questions, they're going and they're using it as a research tool, much like they use Google. It's just a large portion of our audience wants to consume information via video, a large portion via print, but it's definitely something to be aware of and pay attention to.
Something else that's interesting about YouTube and Google is that Google spent a lot of money investing in voice translation and understanding what people are actually saying and using that as a search engine. I don't know if anybody's used Google 411, where you can actually have it be sort of a directory assistant. From what I understand, that's really partly motivated by them improving the whole voice recognition technology to help their search engine. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes data that's being collected with everything we do, and it's much more of a cooperative environment, I think, than anybody in previous endeavors has really attempted. And just one other point on YouTube. I came from the newspaper industry years ago and focused on content in various ways. I migrated to the web after I totaled my car, and it was a lot easier to get to the website office than to cover the games I used to cover. So I've been following closely both the demise of newspapers, the so-called demise of newspapers, and the rise of other technologies. And I just I stumbled on this recently, and it's very striking to me that there's 265 newspapers that have YouTube accounts and have YouTube presence. So as much as there's a lot of bemoaning about what we can't do and what we aren't doing, there's a lot of people that are just saying, you know what, there are things I can do, we can do, and we're taking advantage of it. So obviously there's different levels of engagement and content, but the effort's being made, and different organizations are understanding that there's a place to go and tell their story. And it doesn't necessarily involve the same players that it used to, and that has a profound effect on our business as well. So if we're tone deaf to that, it can be very detrimental. But if we are even getting our feet wet just a little bit at a time and making sure we keep up with what's changing, the benefits are huge. Another piece of video that we've also developed as part of our Genuine Labs is an augmented reality business card, where you can actually hold up the back of this card with this logo to a webcam on an application on our site and actually get an introduction from Chris, who really loves this. You don't tap into this, no, but we do have video. So it's just another thing to think about, alternate ways that even in mailings that there could be logos printed that could then get people to not even leave their house and have a full-fledged introduction to whoever you deem important to get in front of those people. So the lines are blurring.
What are you using on the webcam? The other side is a QR code?
Yes, it's a QR code, and then what's fascinating is they don't have to take up much space. They would actually fit on the envelope too, so we don't have to necessarily open the envelope to get the introductions. A friend of mine, Susan Mernon, who I've been working with for years, she's been immersed in social media and communities for a long time. And, it's worth doing, it's worth measuring. And there's analytics that you can apply to everything you're doing, obviously, but it's also important to recognize that different numbers mean different things to different people. It's not always clear that you need to measure every single thing, but knowing where the sweet spot is, and we can touch on this a little bit later, is that sometimes it's more worthwhile to invest in certain campaigns at certain times of year. This is actually a chart from one of our